This week at the state capitol, lawmakers introduced a bill that would allow people with terminal illness to end their lives with medication. But the proposal, known as the End of Life Options Act, faces stiff political opposition. Danny Spiewak joins us from the Capitol with details. Danny?
Well, DFL lawmakers have introduced this bill in Minnesota for years. It just hasn't passed. Actually, has been at least a decade or so that this has been on the agenda here at the state capitol. And this week, the House and the Senate both saw it reintroduced in both chambers. But as you mentioned, it faces an uphill climb politically this session.
After a diagnosis of ALS in 2022,
it's just terrible disease.
Tom Albin supports changes to Minnesota law that would allow adults with 6 months or less to live to use medication to end their lives.
I strongly believe I should have the right to have a say in my life.
Becky Sinks agrees. Her husband Brad took his own life during a battle with brain cancer.
I've always loved in obituaries where they say surrounded by friends and family, and that option was taken away from Brad.
On Thursday, Becky and Tom joined DFL Representative Mike Freiberg.
People shouldn't have to be denied this option.
Who reintroduced the End of Life Options Act this week for the 9th year in a row. Under the proposal, a person who chooses to end their life must be deemed capable of making medical decisions.
A mental health evaluation is required if there's any concern about judgment or decision-making capacity.
Despite DFL support, the bill still did not pass the Senate last year and has little chance of passing the House, where Republicans now hold a tie.
I am a firm pro-life believer from conception to natural death, so it's disheartening that it's back again.
Republican Representative Krista Knudsen said her caucus is united against the bill.
A lot of times, people are seeking this option because they feel as though they are a burden at the end of their life on their families, and all life has value.
10 other states have passed this legislation, including Oregon, which is the model for Minnesota's proposal.
No new state has passed it in 4 years.
Jessica Rogers with the Patients' Rights Action Fund works nationally to defeat similar bills.
People coming together, recognizing that this is harmful and dangerous for our most vulnerable neighbors.
So in both the House of Representatives and the Senate this week, this bill was referred to committee, but the committee deadline for bills to pass out of committee and have a chance to fully pass the session is actually tomorrow afternoon. So very little chance here that this is going to move forward, at least this session. Back to you.
Yeah, and you had mentioned earlier, it's been introduced many times, never seems to gain much traction, but certainly an interesting debate. Do you feel like the support for it has grown over the years as it keeps being reintroduced? Any idea?
Well, one thing that's notable that the House sponsor, Mike Freiberg, said today was that last year when the DFL controlled the House, they actually got this through 4 different committees. So it really just depends on sort of the political environment of the year. Obviously, Republicans have shared power in the House this year, and so that makes it an even smaller chance that it would move forward, but it just kind of depends on the makeup of the year.